Hey guys, it's that time of the week again where we review SmackDown Live. Hey guys, and we started off this episode of SmackDown Live like we start every episode of SmackDown Live it seems, with Shane O'Mac in the ring doing a promo of Survivor Series, stating that it was pretty much Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's fault that Team SmackDown lost the Survivor Series. Then he calls down Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They come down, they cut a good promo, all three men again, and Shane O'Mac's just about to fire him. Daniel Bryan comes out, stops it, convinces Shane to allow him to have a match, a tag team match against the New Day, and to be a lumberjack match as well. And this builds on for the main event for the night. Obviously during the show we saw segments where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are backstage trying to get allies for the lumberjack match so they don't get beaten up too badly, and it was quite interesting on that front. You also had Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac having a back and forth conversation, with Shane saying, "I'm going to the hotel before I do something stupid, but I do expect you to fire Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after the match." Now this is a good way to start the show. You know, you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, literally their bread and butter, they're brilliant at promos. Daniel Bryan was fantastic, definitely a little darker Daniel Bryan, not all form babyface. There's something's going on there, and you know, I could see something between Shane O'Mac and Daniel Bryan coming around the corner soon. But for me personally, this is it was okay way to start the show, very, very paint by numbers kind of way, with Shane O'Mac coming out to start the show, but fine, it was okay for the start of SmackDown Live this week. Then for our first match of the night, we had a singles match with Shelton Benjamin taking on Jey Uso. Now this was an interesting match as it was, because Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin came out and they didn't really get the warmest, welcome, and these guys are supposedly the baby faces, and then you had the Usos come out, and the Usos, literally the crowd went crazy. They had a fantastic match at Survivor Series and the crowd absolutely loved it, and the match itself was pretty well done. Again, Shelton Benjamin is a veteran, he knows how to work hard. You got Jey Uso, who's with his brother Jimmy, are at top of their game right now, and not just in tag team but even in ring performance have very much upped their game, and it was a good match. Shelton Benjamin got the win with a lot of interference from Chad Gable. They've very much gone to this more aggressive kind of style. The Usos, it looks like we could possibly, like I said earlier in other reviews, have a double switch soon where Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin turn heel and the Usos turn face, but keep that day one-ish style, which would work for them just like it does for AJ Styles. But for me, it was a good match to start off the show, so well done. Then we had our first debut / return of the night when we had the Bludgers brothers take on the Hype Bros. This was quite interesting. We have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan now in their new gimmick of the Bludgers brothers taking on the Hype Bros. This is pretty much an introduction to this new style, this new characters they've developed, and it's quite interesting. The fans seem to be really into it. Entrance looked quite cool. I like the big melons hammers they can, and that's quite cool. And it's a squash match against the Hype Bros. Let's be honest, they looked really impressive on that. But nothing much to say. It's a good way to start off the new Bludgers brothers kind of style, and it did reference the Wyatt family as well, did the commentating team, so that was quite cool. But yeah, it was a good debut match for the new Bludgers brothers. Then we had a backstage segment where Naomi is getting her makeup done and Ruby Riott pops up next to her and says hi to her. Naomi's not stupid, she saw what happened on Raw. She tries to get away, but Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan was right there with Ruby Riott, and they beat the living lights out of her, and it was awesome to see. Then Becky Lynch tried to help Naomi, that she got flattened by the three new talents on SmackDown Live Women's Division, which was pretty cool to see. And that was an awesome way to introduce these three women, and we might see them later on in the show. Then we had AJ Styles in the ring cutting a promo about Survivor Series and his next challenge against Jinder Mahal, and this was quite interesting. He said that after his match against Brock Lesnar, everyone was texting him, tweeting him, everything under the sun, just congratulating him that he went toe to toe with Brock Lesnar. Yes, he might have not got the win, but he definitely showed Brock that he is a worthy challenger in the future, and he even said to Brock, if you want to go again, you know where I am. And that was cool. Vinny got interrupted by Jinder Mahal on the big screen, saying, look, I'm going to challenge you, I'm going to get my rematch clause, and I'm going to do it at Clash of Champions. That builds up quite well. I think that is definitely going to be a main event. And then AJ, prepared for Jinder, gets attacked by the Singh brothers from behind, but AJ Styles, knowing that this is just the Singh brothers, took him out in quick succession. Didn't take long, and Jinder Mahal looked frustrated and angry that the Singh brothers, who have never really won a match, got beaten up by the champion, the guy who runs the place, AJ Styles. That was fine. It wasn't the best promo work against AJ and Jinder, but AJ's promo at the beginning, really well done for the Survivor Series. So it's just when it's working with the Jinder Mahal kind of promo, it kind of lost a little bit of steam. But watching the Singh brothers get beat up, that was fine. Then we had a women's title match. This is because Natalya activated her rematch clause in her contract. So we had Charlotte versus Natalya again. This was a fantastic match to watch again. I think it was slightly better than what we had last week. Natalya and Charlotte definitely performed in a high performance, and they were still selling injuries from Sunday night from Survivor Series, so it looked really interesting. Then while the match was getting on, we had Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan attack Natalya outside the ring. Then they surrounded the ring to take out Charlotte. Charlotte managed to fight them off for a small amount of time before the three new women's talent took out Charlotte, with each one using their own finisher. This is a great way to bring in these new talents. Like, we're going to take out all the top women on SmackDown Live. It will be interesting because obviously if you follow Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott, all three women were baby faces in NXT. So is WWE now turned them heel since they've gone to the main roster, or is this just them being aggressive while they join the new main roster? I would love to wait. I can't wait to see how this moves on. Then we had our main event, a tag team match against the New Day and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as a lumberjack match as well. And this was quite an interesting match. You had the New Day, you had quite a few of the main roster of SmackDown there. You know, there were a few exceptions, like AJ Styles wasn't there, and Jinder and Randy Orton. You know, some of the bigger names weren't there, but Shinsuke was there. Bobby Roode was there, so that was quite cool to see. And the Clones were there, which was awesome. I hadn't seen them for quite some time. They were there, so they haven't been released from SmackDown Live. That's good. And you had the New Day come out, and the New Day are always fantastic in entertainment wise. And the match itself was well performed. Again, the New Day looked very, very strong. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were very much entertaining. Every time Kofi fell out of the ring, no one attacked him. But every time Sami got out of the ring, or Kevin, they got beaten up. I don't think Kevin actually went out of the ring. I think it was always Sami who got knocked out of the ring and got beaten up by the Lumberjacks, which was very entertaining. Then we had Baron Corbin accidentally hit Bobby Roode in the face. That caused a riot between all the Lumberjacks. They all disbanded. Then Sami and Kevin, because of the distraction, got the pin, which was pretty cool. Kevin Owens ran off after the bell rang. Sami unfortunately couldn't get away in time. The New Day pulled him back into the ring, beat the crap out of him. Then we got to the backstage where we saw Kevin Owens begging Daniel Bryan, please don't fire him. It was a good back and forth between these two. Again, these two really work well together. And then we saw Daniel Bryan saying, Kevin, I was never going to fire you. Don't worry about that. But next week, you're going to take on Randy Orton on a one-on-one match. And that was pretty cool. And Kevin was like, but he can't. And then he realised he still has a job, and he was thankful for having the job. And this was a good way to end the show. And there you go, guys. That was SmackDown Live for this week. Very, very interesting kind of show. We had very strong debuts for the Bludgers brothers and Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. Can't wait to see what these ladies can do in the women's division. This is going to be very much indeed needed depth for that division. The Bludgers brothers look like they could be, for me, one of the better tag teams, and hopefully they will be pushing against big teams like the New Day and, you know, Fashion Files and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool to see them take these guys on. But very much feels like the Raw was the better show this week, which is fine. It was good to see that both, you know, it wasn't a bad show this week for SmackDown. It just wasn't as strong as what we got on Raw. So there you go, guys. I want to hear what you guys thought. What was your favourite part of this week's episode of SmackDown Live? What did you not like? And leave it in the comments below. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. I'm at Boise88, and I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.